Nick Majerison here, welcome to TopMedTalk. Today we have a conference highlight, Kill or Cure, Cold Water Adaptation Therapy. The conversation features Professor Monty Mythen and his guest Mark Harper, Consultant Anaesthetist at Brighton and Sussex University Hospitals, with a research interest in the prevention of perioperative hypothermia and the use of cold water adaptation for therapeutic purposes. Have a listen.
TopMedTalk. Cold water adaptation for therapeutic purposes. I've heard in passing you talk about this. I think you do this sort of open water swimming when it's freezing cold, which sounds a bit crazy to me. But you're suggesting that's good for you, is that right?
In the right measure, I am suggesting it's good for you.
How cold and how long?
You can go as cold or as long as you want. Actually, the interesting thing is that hypothermia is always bad. So if you've gone too long and you get hypothermic, that's actually going to be bad for you.
Hang on. If hypothermia is always bad, how can it be good for you?
You don't get hypothermic. You stay in long enough that you adapt to the cold, and adapt to the conditions, but you don't stay in too long that you become hypothermic.
So give us an example of where you might swim and for how long and wearing what to get this putative advantage.
Well, you don't even need to swim in a pool. Mike Tipton, I work with down in Portsmouth, the Extreme Environments Lab, he's got a setup where he dunks you in a tank, and the classic dunking program is 6 dunks at 14 degrees, and you don't have to be in for very long. You just have to be in long enough that you bring your ventilation under control. That you can by the time you can hold your breath and control your breathing, that means that you have been in long enough.
I think I've seen some of that on the telly, but for the people who are thinking it might benefit their health, who enjoy swimming, what's the sort of accessible alternative?
In the UK, the accessible alternative is actually any open water. In Brighton, for example, in the summer, the temperature goes up to a maximum of around 20 degrees centigrade. And although you get more adaptation at a slightly lower temperature, at 20 degrees you still see maximal vasoconstriction. So it's having a significant effect on your physiology.
And how long might you swim for in open water to get a beneficial effect that you're suggesting?
I don't think you need to swim very long. As I say, just as long as you can get your breath under control, 5-10 minutes.
Okay. So what about just a daily dunking? Just get out there and sort of a bit of a refreshing get into the sea.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, this all sounds... Well, one is, I've sort of noticed that people that go open water swimming look fit as a butcher's dog anyway. So has there any therapeutic benefit that you can separate from the fact that you're more likely to be quite active and fit if you do this?
We haven't, I can't say, it's not been separated out fully, and there are a lot of benefits. I always think of open water swimming as a kind of package of benefits. It's like being outside, which we know is independently is a benefit. It's exercise, which we know is good. It's a social activity. Well, it can be. Certainly the way I do it is. So you can't necessarily separate it out. However, there are people I know who have previously exercised, but have used it. As a good friend of mine, he's got inflammatory bowel disease, he's got Crohn's, and he has basically for the last 6-7 years, he's entirely controlled his bowel symptoms through cold water swimming.
So you think, there's evidence, as I understand, from basic science that suggests that this is not crazy. You've had some hypotheses and others published in respectable journals, so it's not completely bonkers, this.
No, there's good evidence. We've recently published a review in Experimental Physiology looking at the potential benefits. So it was Kill or Cure was the headline title of it. And we certainly came down on the side of cure.
So do you think it's worth anyone who's got a condition that isn't quite coming under control to at least have a look at this and perhaps give it a go? Would that be a reasonable... You're not in any way suggesting it's a proven therapy. You're saying it's something that may turn out to be that could help some people? Yeah,
exactly so. And certainly the big thing for me, I think what we're finding with all kinds of conditions is they're related to levels of inflammation. And the big thing for me about cold water adaptation is that it reduces your levels of inflammation.
TopMedTalk.
This edition of TopMedTalk was recorded at the Institute of Sport, Exercise and Health, live from an Enhanced Recovery After Surgery Leadership Forum. This piece is taken from a longer conversation to be found under the title Cold, Kill or Cure, live from the ISEH Part 1. Find that on TopMedTalk.com. And don't forget, of course, you can meet the TopMedTalk team. Want to have a look at edpom.org? Check out some of the meetings that we're going to be at. Our next big event is EdPom 2018, the London Perioperative Medicine Congress. That's at the Institute of Engineering and Technology between the 4th and the 6th of July. Check out the website for more details, edpom.org.